What's up, everyone? Today we're counting down 15 absolute must-play games on the Switch that deliver incredible value for your money. These are the games that'll keep you hooked for hours, whether you're into deep stories, challenging gameplay, or just unforgettable experiences. We've got everything from tactical mechs to roguelike masterpieces, so let's get right into it. Ys 10 Proud Nordics delivers a refined action JRPG experience that feels perfectly suited for long, handheld sessions on Switch, thanks to its fast, responsive combat and focused dual protagonist system. Instead of a large party, the game centers on Adol and Karja, whose dual mechanics allow seamless switching between solo attacks and combined abilities, creating a combat loop that stays engaging from regular encounters to intense boss fights. Exploration plays a major role, with players sailing across the Obelia Gulf, discovering islands, dungeons, and side quests while upgrading their ship and unlocking new traversal skills like grappling and gliding. This adds a strong sense of adventure that keeps progression satisfying without feeling repetitive. The story follows Adol's unexpected bond with the Norman warrior Karja as they confront mysterious undead threats, emphasizing character growth, cooperation, and a classic journey-driven narrative without losing the series' energetic tone. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. This is the definitive edition of one of the greatest tactical RPGs ever made, and if you've never experienced it, the Switch is honestly the perfect place to play it. You're following Ramzabulv through a complex political conspiracy in the Kingdom of Ivalice, where nobles scheme, the church holds dark secrets, and commoners get crushed in between. The gameplay is all about positioning your units on grid-based battlefields, choosing job classes that range from knights and monks to summoners and ninjas, and watching your ragtag team grow into an unstoppable force. Every battle is like a chess match, where terrain height matters, you can accidentally hit your own allies, and sometimes the weather affects your magic. The job system is incredibly deep. You're unlocking abilities from different classes and mixing them to create custom builds that fit your playstyle. The story doesn't pull punches either. It's dark, it's political, and characters you care about will die or betray you. Slay the Spire basically created the deck-building roguelike genre, and it's still the gold standard years later. You're climbing this mysterious spire, fighting enemies in card-based combat, and building your deck one card at a time, through rewards and shop purchases. What makes it endlessly replayable is that every run feels different. You might start with a simple, attack-heavy deck, but then find a powerful card that makes you pivot to a poison build, or a deck focused on stacking shield. There are 3 main characters, each with completely unique cards and playstyles, plus a 4th unlockable character. The genius is in how the game teaches you through playing. You learn which card combinations are powerful, when to skip adding cards to keep your deck lean, and how to adapt when RNG doesn't give you what you want. Battles are turn-based, so you can think through your moves, planning several turns ahead when you need to. The progression between runs comes from unlocking new cards and relics that appear in future attempts, so even failed runs feel productive. X Pitt offers a unique twist on the roguelike formula by combining arcade-style brick-breaking mechanics with fast-paced, wave-based combat and long-term progression. Instead of using traditional weapons, players attack by launching bouncing balls that ricochet across the arena, damaging enemies in creative ways and encouraging strategic positioning rather than pure button mashing. Each run introduces escalating difficulty, bosses, and a variety of ball upgrades that can be fused or evolved into powerful combinations with elemental or special effects, allowing for highly customizable builds. Beyond combat, the game features a rewarding meta loop, where resources collected in the pit are used to rebuild and expand a settlement, unlocking new characters, permanent upgrades, and deeper layers to explore. The story centers on the ruins of Balbalon, a city destroyed by a mysterious catastrophe that created a monster-filled abyss, with adventurers descending into the pit in search of answers and treasure, giving the experience a strong sense of progression, discovery, and replayability. A short hike is exactly what the title promises, but it's one of the most charming and heartwarming experiences on the Switch. You're playing as a bird named Claire, who's visiting a provincial park and decides to hike to the mountain summit to get cell phone reception. The whole game takes place in this beautifully crafted open area where you can explore at your own pace, talking to quirky animal characters, finding hidden treasures, and just enjoying the scenery. Movement is a joy because you collect golden feathers that extend your stamina, letting you fly higher and reach new areas in a natural progression that feels amazing. There's no combat, no pressure, no timers, just pure exploration and discovery. You might spend time fishing, racing other hikers, playing beach stick volleyball, or hunting for hidden shells. The dialogue is funny and genuine, filled with little observations about life and connection that hit surprisingly deep. Vampire Survivors took the gaming world by storm with its ridiculously addictive bullet heaven gameplay, and it's perfect on Switch for quick sessions or marathon runs. You're picking a character, walking around, automatically attacking enemies, and surviving increasingly intense waves for up to 30 minutes per run. The hook is in how your build evolves. You level up constantly, choosing from random weapon and passive upgrades, and watching combinations emerge that turn you into an unstoppable force, shooting projectiles in every direction. There's no aiming involved. Your weapons auto-target, so you're focused entirely on positioning and build decisions. The screen eventually fills with thousands of enemies, and your screen is pure chaos with effects everywhere. Yet the game runs smoothly, and you always feel in control. Unlocking new characters and stages happens at a steady pace, and discovering weapon evolutions that combine two items into something powerful feels fantastic. SteamWorld Dig 2 is a Metroidvania where you're literally digging down instead of exploring sideways, and it's brilliantly executed from start to finish. You play as Dorothy, a steambot searching for her missing friend in underground caverns filled with ore, enemies, and ancient mysteries. The gameplay loop is incredibly satisfying. Dig down, fight enemies, and collect resources, return to town to upgrade your gear, then dig even deeper with your new abilities. What separates this from other Metroidvanias is how dynamic the digging feels. You're carving your own paths through destructible terrain, and finding the optimal route becomes a puzzle itself. You unlock tools like a jackhammer, grappling hook, and jet boots that open up new areas and movement options, making backtracking fun instead of tedious. The game has this perfect pacing where you're constantly unlocking something new right when the current area starts feeling familiar. There's also a great risk-reward system with your light and water resources. Digging too deep without planning your return route adds tension. Katana ZERO is a neo-noir action platformer that plays like Hotline Miami meets a samurai film, and it's absolutely unforgettable. You're a katana-wielding assassin, working through increasingly complex levels in single-hit kill scenarios where you die constantly but restart instantly, refining your approach until you nail that perfect run. The gameplay is built around your precognition ability. The story frames each attempt as you foreseeing possible futures until you find the right one, which is genius. You can slash bullets back at enemies, slow down time, and execute these incredibly stylish kills that feel like choreographed fight scenes. Between missions, you're in your apartment, dealing with a therapist who provides mysterious medication, dialogue choices that actually matter, and a conspiracy that slowly reveals itself through trippy cutscenes and fractured memories. The aesthetic is pure 80s neon, mixed with VHS distortion effects and a synth soundtrack that's absolutely killer. Sea of Stars is a love letter to classic JRPGs like Chrono Trigger while being its own remarkable adventure. You're playing as two solstice warriors who can channel sun and moon magic, destined to fight against an alchemist who creates monsters called dwellers. The turn-based combat has this brilliant timing system where hitting button prompts during attacks boosts damage or reduces incoming hits, keeping you engaged instead of just selecting commands. What's genius is how magic points work. You build them during combat by landing normal attacks. So longer fights become these tactical dances of building resources and spending them at the right moments. The world is gorgeous, with pixel art that's incredibly detailed. And exploration feels rewarding, with hidden paths, puzzle-filled dungeons, and secrets that encourage you to poke around every corner. There's no random encounters. Enemies are visible on the map, and you can even avoid fights if you're smart about it. Shogun Showdown does something incredibly rare. It perfectly combines turn-based tactical combat with roguelike deck building in a way that feels completely fresh. You're a wandering samurai moving across a grid, and every action is a card in your hand, whether that's attacking, defending, or repositioning. What makes this brilliant is that enemies telegraph their moves, so each turn becomes a puzzle of figuring out the optimal sequence of cards to survive and deal damage. You're building your deck as you progress through different paths on a map, choosing from new action cards, items that modify rules, and permanent upgrades that stack between runs. The game constantly forces interesting decisions. Do you take the powerful attack that shuffles your deck, or the defensive card that's less flashy but more consistent? Unlike faster roguelikes, this one lets you think through every move, making success feel earned through clever play rather than quick reflexes. Sentinels is this wild sci-fi adventure that mashes together visual novel storytelling with real-time strategy battles. And somehow, it all works perfectly. You're following 13 different high school students across different time periods who all end up piloting giant mechs called Sentinels to fight mysterious kaiju attacking humanity. The story jumps between characters and timelines in this brilliantly woven narrative that starts confusing, but slowly connects into one of the most satisfying plots in gaming. You're piecing together mysteries involving time travel, AI, conspiracies, and questions about what's really happening to the world. The adventure sections play like a visual novel where you explore areas, talk to characters, and uncover keywords that unlock new story branches. Then, the combat is completely separate top-down strategy battles where you deploy your Sentinels and fight waves of enemies using different mech types with unique abilities.
Let's do this! Got him! Is that all you got?
Absolum blends classic side-scrolling beat-em-up action with rogue-like structure, creating a combat system that feels both skill-driven and highly replayable. Players choose from multiple warriors, each with distinct fighting styles, combining light and heavy attacks into fluid combos, while managing mana to unleash powerful arcana abilities that control crowds or deal burst damage. The combat rewards precision through dodging, counters, and well-timed clashes, rather than simple button mashing, giving each encounter a tactical edge. Runs take place across branching regions filled with randomized encounters, hazards, and secrets, encouraging experimentation with builds and routes instead of memorizing fixed levels. Rituals and temporary upgrades shape each run's playstyle, while permanent progression and unlocks between attempts provide a steady sense of growth. The story unfolds in the fantasy world of Tala, where a resistance of warriors rises against a tyrannical ruler after a magical catastrophe, with lore and character development gradually revealed through repeated runs and exploration. Octopath Traveler 0 builds on the series' classic HD 2D foundation by delivering a deeper and more strategic turn-based RPG experience centered around the break and boost combat system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses and timing enhanced attacks becomes essential in tougher battles. A major evolution is the expanded party structure, allowing players to manage a large roster of companions and swap between frontline and backline members mid-battle, adding a strong tactical layer to team composition and survival. Beyond combat, the game introduces a meaningful town-building system, where players gradually rebuild their settlement by placing and upgrading facilities that unlock new features, bonuses, and progression options. Exploration follows a traditional JRPG loop, with world traversal, dungeons, and branching story paths, while encouraging experimentation with jobs, skills, and party synergy. The story focuses on a customizable protagonist whose destroyed hometown sparks a journey of restoration and discovery, with character recruitment and world rebuilding forming the emotional core of the adventure.
With parties of up to 8 characters.
We're in this together. Please and thank you!
Time to teach you.
Silksong is the long-awaited sequel starring Hornet, and it expands everything that made Hollow Knight great while feeling completely fresh. You're exploring the kingdom of Farloom, moving upward through different regions instead of descending, with each area having its own distinct ecosystem and enemies. Hornet plays completely differently from the Knight. She's faster, more aggressive, and her moveset revolves around her needle and thread abilities that let you zip around and combo enemies. The game introduces new mechanics, like the bind system, where you equip tools that modify your abilities and can be swapped on the fly to adapt to situations. Boss fights are fast and demanding, requiring you to learn patterns while staying aggressive, since Hornet's playstyle rewards skillful offense. The world is even more intricate, with multiple paths, hidden secrets, and NPCs with their own quests that impact the story. The hand-drawn art is gorgeous, with incredible attention to detail in every background and character animation. Hades 2 takes everything that made the first game phenomenal and builds on it in massive ways. You're playing as Melinoe, sister of Zagreus, fighting your way through Greek myth-inspired underworld regions to stop Kronos, the Titan of Time. The roguelike loop is addictive. Each run you battle through procedurally generated rooms, collecting boons from various gods that modify your abilities in wild ways. And even when you die, you return to base camp stronger. The combat feels incredible, with multiple weapons that completely change your playstyle, and the new magic system adds another layer where you can cast powerful spells using mana. What sets this apart is how much content there is between runs. You're building relationships with dozens of characters through fantastic dialogue, unlocking new story beats, upgrading your base, and discovering new mechanics that open up as you progress. The boon system creates endless build variety, since gods offer different upgrades and certain combinations create legendary duo boons. And there you have it, 15 incredible Switch games that absolutely justify their price tags, and then some. Let me know in the comments which of these you've played, or which ones you're adding to your wishlist. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more game recommendations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.